then you have, some other guy that's saying like, you're a hero, go do hero's work. Is what I would say is none of that is accurate or fair to this profession in particular. Is that you have to understand that this is a job. There are things you're going to like doing in your job. There are things you're not going to like doing. Some people are going to come away with some mental health issues. They're going to have post-traumatic stress. They're going to have, worsening depression, might develop a habit. And then there's going to be another percentage that are not going to have any of these things. And you're not going to know where you fall in that until you're in the situation. So don't think because you see this one person, they're super unhappy, or this one person, they're super happy, that that's necessarily going to be you. So what I would say is take the advice of people around you and look at what they're doing and find goals for yourself, but don't get so caught up in what everybody else is doing that you're kind of ignoring what you're actually feeling. If you're not emotionally affected by that kid that died in the car accident, that's okay. If you are, that's also okay. And you just have to be able to mitigate that in either direction. I think for me, what's given me the most success in this career is finding community needs within the population that I serve as a paramedic and trying to address those on a non-emergency level. We get so wrapped into these emergency calls and all of this that we kind of forget that we can make a difference outside of that. So for me, that was SWAT medicine. I was looking at a team that had no medics. We had staging paramedics that weren't going into these hot zones. We were having people that were not getting the care they needed. And I saw that as a community need that I could come in and help out on a lot of different levels. So for somebody else, that might be, starting a community paramedic program. That might be going to an old folks home and chatting with them and giving them some company once in a while, or educating them on when to call 911 and how. So finding some kind of community need that you can embed yourself within the people around you and seeing them in a different light when they're not at their worst, I think is huge. And that will do a lot for longevity within the emergency medical services, at least.
Love that, love that. I mean, I've used up far more of your time than I have any right. I mean, I can certainly see why you've been so successful. I can see how phenomenal your stuff is, like, the how detailed your videos are, the quality there, and it's just the compassion and the empathy behind it, and it's wanting to make people better. And that's why I'm always so glad to promote your channel. But I'd love to do another one with you later on. I've still got tons of questions, and I know we've covered such a ground, and I was trying to avoid going down rabbit holes and stuff like that. But what would you want people to take from this? Is a sort of like, if they were to remember, I don't know, like three things or a key reminder from this, is it that we can help people, that we can, you don't need to just watch, you can, with some basic training, some basic equipment, you can help somebody till the specialists get there?
What I would say is that anybody listening to this, I would remember that in my 12 years, and I know my coworkers are much the same thing, bystanders have made the biggest difference on survivability, on massive bleeding, and cardiac arrest. So you don't need anything for either of those things. And if you have just a little bit of training, even if that's just watching one of my videos or somebody else's, you can actually like save somebody's life. And saying save somebody's life doesn't do that justice. Like, you are allowing somebody to continue to be a father. You're giving a child their mother for many more years. You're like letting somebody live their life. And that is super profound. And that is not something a cardiothoracic surgeon needs to do. That is something that you can do with a t-shirt and the knowledge that you have if you have just a little bit of physicality where you can do compressions for 5 minutes until an ambulance arrives. So I think that would be the biggest thing, is to understand you don't need to be a specialist. You don't need to have a huge knowledge base or a huge kit list, or maintain all of these things. You can do a lot and make a profound difference with very, very little.